For our moment of silence.
The 11-year-old drag kid who RuPaul is calling the future. His bravery is inspiring so many. We're going to talk to him in just a moment, but first, let's take a look at his amazing story.
I am Desmond. I'm 11 years old, and I like pizza, trains, and drinking root beer since it's caffeine-free. I also do drag, and I love to put on makeup, dresses, and wigs, and of course, jewelry if necessary. My full drag name is Desmond is Amazing. I feel very happy to have a mom that accepts me.
It really touches me deeply that there are other children out there that he's reaching and they're listening to him and he's influencing them to be themselves, or that he's reaching and they're listening to him and he's influencing them to be themselves, to be themselves.
This is America.
Corn Pop was a bad dude, and he ran a bunch of bad boys.
And he missed. Missed.
We have no choice but to take them out of society.
Well, if you're new to this stuff, you don't want to hear this. They're doing everything they can to basically kill you, destroy you,
murder you, boil you. We keep a white boy or two. Let my man grab the mic. You see how Bunny Rabbit do? Come on, man.
Kind of messy, but good. Try something. See, man, that's why you can't go over there. Nobody ever has. Nobody ever will. One kid did, but nobody ever seen him again.
That ain't true.
In the arms of the
showing like what's happening to you. Yeah, live footage.
We gotta take that off. We gotta take that off. Give me some more people.
You gonna record them? All right. Yeah, no, I've been recording them. I've been recording them. Look.
Okay, we want you to turn it off though. Come on, you keep turning it towards.
Why do you want me to turn it off?
Come on now. Keep turning it towards.
All right.
Get the fuck out.
I'm leaving. Go ahead.
One to the count. One to the count, bitch.
Why do you want to be recorded?
One to the count.
Why do you want to be recorded?
One to the count. One to the count.
Can you get out of my personal space? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
Fuck you, pussy. Go get him.
What are you gonna do?
Get him.
I'm recording on public property right here. They don't want to be recorded.
Get him. He's harassing us. Get him.
I'm not harassing anybody. What the fuck?
We're asking you to please get
What are you gonna do? I'm recording on public property. What the fuck?
Let's go. Let's go now. Let's go.
Why don't you guys want to be recorded though?
But there was at least one honest line in that speech. We want to highlight it for you because that line reveals what all of this is really about. Here it is.
His failure to call on his own supporters to stop acting as an armed militia in this country shows how weak he is. Does anyone believe there'll be less violence in America if Donald Trump is reelected? No. Do I look like a radical socialist with a soft spot for rioters? Really?
Do I look like a radical socialist? No. You look like a glad-handing shill for the credit card companies because that's exactly who you are, and that's why you're such an effective front man. But the people behind you are radical as hell, and we are not guessing about that. Biden's running mate, President-in-waiting Kamala Harris, openly solicited donations for rioters in Minneapolis. Quote, If you're able to, Harris tweeted in June, chip in now to the Minnesota Freedom Fund to help post bail for those protesting on the ground in Minnesota. Amazingly, that tweet is still up. At least 13 members of Joe Biden's staff sent money to the rioters in Minneapolis. So what did the Minnesota Freedom Fund do with the cash they got? Well, they freed a person who was being held for trying to kill the cops, murder them. They also bailed out an accused murderer and a twice-convicted rapist, among many others. Kamala Harris has never apologized for doing this. She has never repudiated the Minnesota Freedom Fund. Biden, of course, didn't mention it in his speech today, but why would he mention it? He's not against it. He officially supports the idea behind it. The Biden campaign has called bail, quote, a modern-day debtor's prison. Joe Biden is pledging, if elected, to end cash bail nationally in every state. What would that look like? What would happen if Joe Biden did that? Well, we know the answer. We don't have to guess because Democrats have already eliminated cash bail in New York City. And what happened? You know what happened. Criminals immediately flooded the streets. Hundreds of thousands of residents fled the city. Not right-wingers, by the way. Joe Biden voters. They left. They had to because violence surged out of control. Over the weekend, one savage tried to rape a 25-year-old woman on a subway platform at 11 in the morning in public view. You may have seen it on video. It happened on the Upper East Side, one of the prettiest neighborhoods in the country, a beautiful, formerly safe neighborhood. But it's not just New York. Democrat-controlled cities all over the country look like this now. There's no denying it or its effects. Spend an hour on Zillow and look at real estate prices. People are literally running away from cities run by Democrats, and they're going to places that aren't. That's not a guess. It's not a talking point. It's true.
They flipped my hat first, and then they bashed me. So.
You're watching cell phone video recorded just minutes after the attack of this New York City art gallery owner by more than a dozen teens. It left him covered in bruises. You see right there, blood vessels broken in his eye. News 4's Ravi Adam live near the scene of the beating. And Ray, he says this happened because of what he was wearing.
But we would be absolutely stupid as a society if we didn't recognize the condition that nurtured those folks still exist.